Compliments of the season. Nice to have you join us on the last edition of Newsroom series for the year 2024. I'm Dominic Iwiwu. Today we'll be focusing on the northwestern region. But before we get into most of the news coming in from that region, let's have a look at our top stories making the rounds at the moment. Governor Abdullahi Sule has ordered for the immediate suspension of the chairman and members of the Nasarawa State Teachers Service Commission over irregularities in the recent recruitment of teachers. Governor Sule handed down the order during a meeting at the government house on Monday. The governor equally directed the secretary to the government of Nasarawa State to constitute a three-man committee to investigate the activities of the TSC with a view to getting to the root of the matter. He disclosed that he gave approval for the recruitment of only 1,000 teachers, but information available to him shows that the TSC went on its own to recruit over 1,000 additional teachers. The Arewa Consultative Forum, ACF, has expressed concern over the military airstrike that occurred in two communities within Silami local government area of Sokoto State on December 25, 2024, which resulted in the deaths of 10 people and left many others injured. Following the incidents, the ACF urged the military to re-evaluate its strategies and tactics in addressing the insecurity plaguing both the north and the entire country. In a statement issued in Kaduna by its National Publicity Secretary, Professor Tuko Mohammed Baba, the ACF expressed its concerns over attempts by the military to deny the killing of civilians by the defense spokesman in the aftermath of the incident. Describing the military airstrike as one disaster too many, the forum insisted that compensation be paid for those who suffered death and injuries in line with Islamic legal principles and injunctions in the community. The ACF also commended the Sokoto state government for the prompt response and calls on those concerned to redouble their efforts to see that promises made by the state governor, Ahmed Aliyu, are carried out without delay. A member of the All Progressives Congress in Zamfara State, Mr. Sani Shinkafi, has called on President Bola Tinubu to urgently address the escalating security threat posed by the notorious bandit leader, Bello Turji, in the state. He raised the alarm during a media briefing in Gusau, the state capital. He explains that the latest threat has forced many residents out of their homes. Meanwhile, a former governor of the state, Senator Abdulaziz Yari, is assuring residents of the state that the security threats will be reduced by October 2025. He stated this during a media parley in his country home in Talata Mafarawa local government area of the state.
Nigeria's northwest region have been experiencing insecurity, and Zamfara state is also feeling the impact of the threats by bandits. A member of the All Progressive Congress in the state, Mr. Sani Shinkafi, is concerned that the situation is escalating.
I hereby call on Mr. President to save the lives and properties of good people of Shinkafi local government, Jumi local government, and Sokoto with Isa, and even part of Sabon Birni Axis. It is very unfortunate, also a slap to the Nigerian security apparatus, where an armed bandit will be issuing all kinds of threats to our local community.
However, a former governor of the state highlights the federal government's efforts to tackle the menace, including the deployment of additional security personnel and equipments to combat terrorists in the nation's northwest region. The federal lawmaker believes insecurity will be nipped in the bud in the new year.
In the issue of security, we as government are doing our best. And as I told you, in the first gathering, by God's grace, by next October, inshallah, the issue of insecurity will come to the minimum. We cannot say we can eradicate it, even the United States is dealing with it. So, but we are going to do our best, inshallah, to become the matter of the past as much as we can. And by God's grace, inshallah, by next rainy season, most of our farmers will go back to their farmland because President has promised Nigerians, promised us at any point in time, happy with what is going on here and how our gallant security, they are trying their best. And some places their people cannot move freely. Today, they have a space to do that, and then that pressure will continue against criminals and who want to go on criminality. So they will not have space to do that.
The lawmaker is hoping that the improved security situation will encourage farmers to return to their land.
The National Union of Textile, Garment and Tailoring Workers of Nigeria has decried the collapse of the nation's textile industry, which it attributes to inconsistent government policies, lack of patronage and rising cases of smuggling. The union reveals that no fewer than 45 textile factories in Kaduna, Lagos and Kano have closed down in the last 22 years, while more than 50,000 workers who were forcefully disengaged are yet to be paid their entitlements.
The Nigerian textile industry, once a thriving sector, is currently facing significant challenges. Before 1997, Nigeria had the second largest textile industry in Africa, with over 250 active factories, employing around 450,000 workers. Sadly, the industry has experienced a drastic decline due to factors such like insufficient power, inconsistent government policies, extensive smuggling of imported textiles, among other challenges.
The situation of the industry remains the same. Continue going down, companies continue to fold up, and as you can see, a lot of factors is responsible for that. The tariff of today, it is not palatable to any production organization. When we talk of power, the same thing. The hike in the price of the power, and even the power is not available. If we talk of industry, as Nigeria today, we are running after 4 megawatts. What is that enough for any production organization? The answer is zero. So those are the challenges we are having.
Presently, the textile industry is struggling to survive, with only about 20,000 jobs remaining and few factories operating. Despite the 100 billion naira intervention fund set aside by the administration of former President Goodluck Jonathan to revive the textile industry, the sector still faces a bleak future. The leadership of the Textile Workers Union has been demanding for the revival of the industry in view of its contribution to Nigeria's employment profile and gross domestic product.
As we are seeing, we continue losing members, and as the company continue to fold up, so definitely it affects us as a union in terms of our membership and every other thing. But the fact remains that there are a lot of factors that are responsible for that. As an organization, the environment that's for them to strive is not conducive.
The poor living condition of disengaged workers without pay is also a pressing concern.
All workers, no one has been paid their...
Like how many?
Up to 6,000 workers have been paid their entitlements, and all efforts to meet with the governors. Several attempts were made when they were holding their meetings in Kaduna here to make sure that they pay the workers. All fell on deaf ear.
Channels Television visited some of the disengaged workers. They tell the stories of heartbreak and their battle with health challenges. They are calling on the government to pay them their entitlements.
Sometimes they drive my children from school. They come and sit down at home. Hardly I get food to eat. Hardly I get money to pay for their school fees. True friends. But for me to say I have money to pay, I don't have it.
You are catering for children go to school. You must use money, their school fees, their clothes, their feeding family. But all of a sudden, nothing like that. You be thinking, today, tomorrow, today, tomorrow. So these are the things that many people are thinking. If not God, God in His favor, God in His wonderful way, because otherwise, what are we?
The Textile Union is hoping that the government's effort to industrialize the nation's economy will include the textile industry.
We head over to Katsina State, where the state's government has inaugurated a community-level committee that will determine how development projects are conceived and implemented in the state. Governor Diko Rada, while inaugurating the committee at the Katsina Local Government Service Commission, said the initiative was designed to provide policy direction and budget implementation guidance with full electorate participation.
Representatives from Darika and Izala religious sects, youth and women groups, local security personnel, ward councillors and key local government officials drawn from the 361 electoral wards gather at the Katsina Local Government Service Commission. Called to serve as community-level committee members as part of the state government's approach to extending critical government interventions to targeted beneficiaries. This new approach, according to the state coordinator of the Katsina Community Development Program, will reduce political interference and ensure equity with regards to government interventions.
We want to make sure that people are now taking charge of or controlling how their lives is going to run within their own community. So we want to give them a level of independence, a level of participatory in terms of governance, and a level of discretion, because it's at their own discretion to decide what happens in their own community.
For his part, Governor Diko Rada stresses that the essence of inaugurating the committee is to cut bureaucratic bottlenecks and political interference.
Yanzu wannan shirin ana kaddamar da ƙaramin kwamiti kuma babban kwamiti.
Now we are inaugurating the smallest committee, which is the biggest committee. We have steering and joint committees and community-level committee. This is the smallest and the biggest, because all what these committees will present must come through it. We have done the same inauguration across 27 LGs in the state. People may tend to be surprised, so the whole essence of this is to remove bureaucratic bottlenecks. In fact, we want to hand over the government power to this committee.
It is believed that this committee will ensure access to healthcare and education and drastically reduce the frequency of conflicts in rural communities.
Staying in Katsina State, the government of the state has encouraged students in various institutions of higher learning across the state to acquire vocational skills and other handcraft certificates in order to sustain themselves and become self-reliant after graduation. The State Commissioner for Higher, Technical and Vocational Education, Honorable Isa Musa, encouraged them during a press conference and book review presentation of achievements recorded by the State Governor, Malam Diko Rada, within his 18 months in office. According to Honorable Musa, the book review with the theme Illuminating a Path with Glory in Higher, Technical and Vocational Education in Katsina State signifies the achievements so far recorded by the Governor in tertiary education as well as vocational and technical education. In his remarks, the Katsina Local Government Chairmanship candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Isa Mikdak, advised the youth to prove their capability of taking the mantle of the country's leadership.
That signifies the achievements so far reported by him, and he has done a lot under tertiary institution in Katsina State, as well as vocational and technical education, our various centers in Katsina State. You see, the current situation of the national policy on education is encourage students to go into trade skill training, so that at least after graduation they go out with at least a certificate or training that can go and sustain themselves and to be self-reliant after graduation their school.
My message is that the future is not tomorrow, but the future is not now. And we are the leaders of today, not the old saying that we are the leaders of tomorrow. We have to work really hard. We need to show the people, the elderly ones, that we are ready to take the mantle of leadership in a respective position that will be given and assigned to us. If General Yakubu Gowon, when he became the head of the state at the tender age or the teenage age of I will not call it a teenage, but a young age of 31, 32, 33. Why not the people of this contemporary moment? I believe that young people are able, and I believe that young people, if given enough opportunity and enabling environment, they will take charge and they will take a new dimension of leadership, not only in our locality, but across the state and across the nation.
Welcome back. The National Information of Technology and Development Agency, NITDA, is urging young people to use the Nigerian Startup Act to access fund and other incentives to grow their businesses. The agency took the awareness campaign to the Kano Tech Hub, known as Ego Hausa, to engage small businesses in the state. The Kano State Commissioner for Science, Technology and Innovation, Mr. Mohammed Othman, believes that the initiative will create job opportunities for youths in the state. Channels Television's correspondent Nanchin Vincent reports.
It is a gathering of young people organized by National Information of Technology and Development Agency, NITDA, to create awareness on the Nigerian Startup Act so that tech hubs can leverage on the act to support their needs for resources, network and job opportunities to drive digital innovations and contribute to economic growth.
We are here in Kano today to showcase, to tell people about what is the Nigerian Startup Act and how to use the portal, and to tell especially startups and hubs, which are our main target audience, on how to use the portal and how to access funding, incentives and even trainings.
The Kano State government is pledging commitment to the initiative, which is considered necessary for positively engaging young people in the state.
We are concentrating on the young people, especially those in the rural areas where the internet power and even the computer knowledge has not yet penetrated that much. And that's why His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Kano State, Engineer Abba Kabir Yusuf, has approved the building of CBT, ICT, computer centers in each of the 44 local governments, which is going to be in phases.
Some of the beneficiaries are looking forward to the impact of the act on their businesses.
It will benefit everyone, even though if you don't have anything to do with it. It can help you make something at home without even going out to look for a job. For example, we learn how to blog, graphic design, blogging, web development.
Na fara koyan gyaran waya. Bayan na koyi gyaran waya na koyi.
With startup, I can improve my business of repairing phones.
The Startup Act aims to create jobs and enable small businesses to grow. With the support of the federal government, NITDA is hoping that more young people will take advantage of the initiative to contribute to the nation's economic development. From Kano Commercial City, Nanchin Vincent, Channels Television News.
The Kano State Public Complaints and Anti-Corruption Commission has accused the former managing director of the Kano Agricultural Supply Company of fraudulently obtaining a court order to recover properties confiscated during an ongoing investigation into alleged misappropriation of 4 billion naira. The commission claims Mr. Inuwa, alongside his son and the Association of Compassionate Friends, diverted public funds meant for Kano State's agricultural sector. During an interview with Channels Television, PCACC Secretary and Legal Advisor Zaharaddin Hamisu Kofta Mata described the former MD's actions as a desperate attempt to illegally reclaim assets acquired with proceeds of crime. He further revealed that Mr. Inuwa filed the suit before Justice Aisha Yao of the Kano State High Court, resulting in a default judgment. The judgment allegedly allowed the former MD to withdraw 190 million naira from frozen bank accounts holding suspected illicit funds. Still in Kano, inmates in custodial facilities across the state will now have access to healthcare services following the approval of their enrollment into the state's healthcare contributory scheme. The initiative, aimed at providing comprehensive health coverage for inmates at the State Command of the Nigerian Correctional Service, was announced during a visit by the Executive Secretary of the Kano State's Contributory Healthcare Management Agency, Dr. Rahila Aliyu Mokhtar. According to a statement signed by the Command's Public Relations Officer, CSC Musbahu Lawan Kofar, Nasarawa, the visit underscored the state government's commitment to improving the welfare of inmates. Responding, the Controller of Corrections for Kano State, Ado Inuwa, expressed gratitude to the state government for the initiative. The new policy is expected to cover routine medical checkups, emergency treatments, and other essential health services, reinforcing the state government's commitments to social welfare and justice. The Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Mohammed Saad Abubakar, has officially recognized the wife of Kebbi State Governor Zainab Nasir Idris as the education ambassador for the Northwest region. The Sultan praised her efforts in promoting girl-child education and encouraged her to continue championing the cause across the region. He gave her the recognition during the closing ceremony of the 39th National Quranic Recitation Competition hosted by Kebbi State. This year's competition featured 238 reciters from 35 states, and Master Buhari Sanusi from Kano State emerged as the winner in the male category, while Miss Rumaisa U. Ibrahim from Gombe State claimed victory in the female category.
I happen to come from a family that have taken education as the most important thing in life. God Almighty created you and brought you into the world to worship Him, nothing more. You cannot worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala if you don't have the education, the wherewithal, the knowledge worshiping. And that's why education is very important. And more so, the education of the girl child is more important because the girl child is the first teacher of any child brought into this world. We picked the first wife of the governor of Kebbi State as the champion of girl child education in the Northwest. And today, inshallah, we're going to honor her like I did personally in Bauchi. We honored the wife of the governor of Bauchi State as the champion of girl child education in the northeastern part of the country. I was there personally. The governor was there personally too. Then the one we had in Mina, we honored the wife of the governor of Niger State with the same title.
On to welfare issues, the Leprosy Mission Nigeria has distributed starter kits to people living with disability in Kebbi State to enable them become self-sufficient. Selected beneficiaries were trained on different skills prior to distribution in Birnin, Kebbi.
The Leprosy Mission has been in existence in Kebbi State, rendering health and social intervention. This distribution is part of their intervention, targeting people with physical challenges. Distributing the items at the Ministry for Women Affairs in Birnin, Kebbi, the State Commissioner for Women Affairs, Halima Hassan Kamba, thanks the Leprosy Mission on behalf of the state government. She gives assurances that the present administration has been constantly interacting with people with special needs, hence the establishment of State Commission for Persons with Disabilities.
This is something that the state government welcomes, and we also inform you that at any time you have similar programs, inshallah, we will stand by you. The state government is in appreciation, and we will also support you in whatever way you want to go to assist people with special needs.
The National Director, the Leprosy Mission Nigeria, Mr. Sunday Udo, says the essence of the gesture is to give people with physical challenges the opportunity to be self-sustained. Mr. Udo, who was represented at the event, appeals to the beneficiaries to take advantage of the gesture to improve their livelihood.
The essence of this distribution basically is to provide support for people with disability to ensure that they are independent, they are not fully dependent on other people, and this can bring about financial freedom, and they can also contribute, bring economic value to themselves, the community, and to the country at large. Truth be told, Kebbi state governments have been trying when it comes to support for people with disability. They've provided a lot of support on their own, and also they provide support to us also when we come around. But you know, let me put it this way: we are Oliver Twist. We always want more, so more can always be done.
Items distributed to help them start to improve their business include welding machines, sewing machines, and grinding machines.
And that's where we draw the curtains on the last edition of Newsroom Series 4 2024. Do have a profitable day. I'm Dominic Iwiwu.